So hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Homeroom Lending Podcast. Today we have our guest, Laura Applebaum, and my host, Ken Fontanez.
Hi.
Well, welcome. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate this.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on a snowy day.
Yeah. Hey, it's worth it.
Yes.
And we're going to hope that's the last one. So we're just going to put that out there. This is it.
We're in March.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
it.
true. March.
You might have
March
another one.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
March is funny,
We
right?
jinxed it.
That whole lion lamb thing. But, you know,
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day is next week. So we're going to bring in some
that's
luck
right.
and go into the warm weather.
Yeah,
That's right.
No, that's true.
I love the positivism.
It's funny when I got married March 7th.
Oh.
So I just had
Happy
an
anniversary.
anniversary. Thank you.
Wait, what,
25
today?
years.
Happy anniversary.
Congratulations.
The 7th?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Congratulations. I didn't know.
Thank you. Yeah. That's why I
Wow.
didn't come in.
Oh.
I had the day off.
Nice. Spa day?
Just hung out, you know.
All right.
But it's funny because my aunt, when I was getting married, she was like, Kim, I had either March 7th or April 11th. So she's like, March 7th, it's going to snow. She said, and April 11th, it's going to
Gonna
rain.
yeah.
Imagine. Yeah, then I'm like, well, those are the only 2 dates we have. So
That's
I
it.
picked March 7th. And it was nice, actually.
See?
Ended up being
There
nice.
you
Oh,
go.
well, you got
Being
lucky.
nice. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
She was wrong.
She was wrong.
So,
Exactly.
so Laura, tell us a little bit about yourself, like what you do, how you got into the business. Just tell us your life story,
So
basically.
I think my story is really kind of unique. Actually, I started out as a teacher. I wanted to be an elementary school teacher. I was like, it's going to be great. I'm going to work with little kids and it's going to be fun. And
Yeah.
12 years into it, I was absolutely miserable.
They sucked all the energy out of you.
This is what I want to do.
Yeah. And I had always been interested in houses, and I'm a people person, and I'm a
Right.
talker by nature. That's just who I am. And my husband said, like, look, you're not working this summer. Why don't you take the real estate course? Just take it.
Right.
Like, you're home doing
Why not?
nothing. Do something. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
And I took it, completed the exam, and then I started researching local agencies. And the agency that I'm with is Century 21 AA Realty.
Okay.
And we have two offices, one in Lindenhurst and one in Seaford. And I really interviewed them. That's how I look at it. I did
Right.
my research. It came up time and time again that they were one of the #1 agencies on the South Shore.
Wow.
And what I really liked when I sat down and spoke with my head broker, Frank, was that the support structure you get a mentor.
important.
They are constantly sending you to professional development.
Wow.
They're constantly giving us tons of information, articles and websites, and
That's
they're
great.
always on to the latest and greatest technology to help push us forward. And for me, I felt that's what I needed. I needed
With the right tools.
Yeah,
as a new
of course.
agent, getting my
Absolutely.
feet wet, I was like, this is perfect. Like, they're setting me up for success, where a lot of agencies don't necessarily have that support structure.
Right.
And I felt because I'm pivoting careers, I'm lighting my degrees on fire. I
Kinda.
can't not make this work. Like, this
Right.
has to work. So I have to
Exactly.
go
you
where
put
they're
so
going
much
to support
time
me.
and effort
like
into
that.
all your schooling and to change.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah,
It's a tough
and my
transaction.
family
Change,
was
yeah,
about
it's big.
it, but only really because of the support structure there.
Right.
Like, my
Oh.
husband says all the time, like, if you were somewhere where you weren't supported, you couldn't go to someone with questions, they weren't helping you continue to grow your knowledge,
Right.
like, he's like, I wouldn't have been comfortable. And I think that really says a lot about that.
does.
Yeah, it would have been
And
a battle uphill for you. It would have been
Yeah.
difficult.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think it
Absolutely.
speaks to the inner educator in me that they continue to help me grow. And I think that's kind of why I center my business so much on the education.
like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how
That's
long has it
your
been now
nature.
since you've had your license?
So we're going on 5 years.
Whoa.
5 years full.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
5
it's
years.
like, it's quick. It's quick.
Yeah.
Seems like
and
it was yesterday. The way it sounds, like it seems like.
Yeah, and I
crazy.
think too, because of COVID and like that getting thrown in there, you know, that was kind of a make or break moment, because for
yeah.
4 months, you couldn't do anything. There was
Yeah.
no in-person anything.
There was
It
nothing, yeah.
remote
That-
How hard
everything.
was that?
Especially people that were heavily relying on referral business.
Yep.
We took a hit.
Yeah.
And you had to make some changes and everything. Yeah. To stay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Did you
keep
find
things
that
going.
to be really difficult? I mean,
So it was a good moment for me to pivot.
Right.
And it taught me to rely less on the cold calling, the door knocking, And I had already had a good grip on social media, but it really forced me to dig down into
that's
it
right, yeah.
and
There it
really,
goes.
okay, take what I'm good at, talking to people, educating people. My social media is growing. Let's put it all together. And that's where really the video piece came into it more often. Reels was just coming out on Instagram, TikTok. And I just really dug into it. And I tried to make it fun, but I tried to make it educational. And I can proudly say I've never paid for an ad or a follower. Everything is 100% organically grown.
Well, because your videos, your stuff is
You're
awesome.
you're
I
natural,
love it.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
Thank
you're
you.
drawn to it.
Thank
you know
you.
what I mean? And
No,
you
they're
know,
awesome,
because
yeah.
I love them.
I really
do.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
and I
actually
just
enjoy
feel,
it.
and I was saying to you and Jamie, it's so important what we do. We're helping people with the most critical purchase of their life, whether
Right.
they're on the selling side or the buying side. This is their biggest asset.
Oh, yeah.
And the more transparent we are with them, the more comfortable they feel throughout the entire process. And that's someone that becomes a client for life. Those are the people who go, wow, they really did right by me. They taught me a lot. Even if sometimes the deal falls apart because, you know, things happen.
Right, of
But
course.
if you've done right by them and been open and honest with them, that will come back to serve you. They're going to refer you out, or they're going to end up, you know, deciding to buy at a later date or whatever. And it will come back to you because you were good to them.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, is
Exactly.
treating your clients like family.
It's like
Most
just
important.
last night we actually we got a contract in from someone that kind of the same thing you're saying. Like we were constantly in touch with them, just trying to like help them. Not just the purchase is one thing, but their biggest challenge is really just the whole like transition, like of making a change and doing all those things.
You
And
know,
they
their
need
credit,
just
everything,
the whole process. Yeah, like it's and
it's nice.
they called us out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like that's nice because you start with them in the beginning, and it's
Yeah.
nice, right? I mean, we have so many clients that they're working on their credit. Now it's they're working on their down payment, and now they call you and they
And
say
they're ready.
okay, like I have so many right now like that. I love it because I'm like, oh yeah, you have enough
You
money.
found-
Oh yeah, Liz. It's like, oh, I got that off my credit, or it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
it
exciting.
really is.
It is
It's-
exciting
yeah.
because
Watching
you've
them.
helped show them the power of making those choices.
Yes.
We're going to get you on this path. You're going to take step A, B, and C so we
Exactly.
can get to D.
Yes.
And that's what's so powerful about what you guys do on the lending side
Right,
is you're
right.
you're the money people.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
And
And,
we- yeah.
it's we're showing them, this is what you have to do to get there.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
It's
I love
like a
it.
real opportunity for us to truly to teach people. I mean,
Right.
it's definitely like, all right, so maybe this could be even a course in high school or something.
Yes.
Like how to buy a house.
Yes.
We've been saying that,
right?
right? Every episode,
Yeah.
every podcast.
Or
Yeah.
even just the importance of just the little things.
And you're a teacher.
Paying your bills on time, having
Right,
that
budgeting.
automatic
Yes.
payment coming out.
Exactly.
Talking about how it affects them every time you open and close a credit card, what that does to your
Yeah.
account. Calling and asking
Right.
for a credit increase on those cards. How
Exactly.
that affects that score and your sliding scale.
Right.
And really understanding coming out of high school what debt to income ratio means
Right.
and how that affects you your whole life, because you're coming out of high school, you're going to college, or even if you're going into trade school or right into
Right.
your career path.
They don't know.
What do you really know?
You
What do you
don't
really
know.
And you know the wild
And
thing
you
is
know,
just the math behind it is just like simple math.
Right,
It's like
right.
7th grade math.
Exactly.
I mean, you throw me into 9th grade, 10th grade. I'm
Yeah,
telling you, it's
yeah,
like
no, yeah.
it's a whole different ball game. You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
seriously, it's like
Yeah.
basic math. Like
Yeah.
even the debt to income ratios is just a simple division.
Right.
So it's like
but they don't know.
Right, because
They
you got all
don't know.
the labeling of what's why. Like even once you start talking, even people that get into the business, when you start talking about basis points versus points
right.
versus percentages, and it all gets mixed in. It all sounds the same, but it's just
Ju-
one of,
yeah.
it's you learn. So if they learned in high school
Right.
about basis points, I didn't learn about that until I took the Series 7 in my 20s, and that's when I'm like, what the heck is this basis points?
Where did this come
The way
from?
that, the way, just to set the whole thing, just
Yeah.
figuring that part out, right? I get it. and especially people trying to get into the industry now. Every year,
Right.
you're getting even more and more like regulations and guidelines that have to be added.
Always
so if
changing.
you're looking to take that exam, any exam, take it as soon as possible because next year it's going to be
gonna change.
more. So it's like
Exactly.
that's
exactly.
the fallback.
We have
You know,
to
like when you
figure
have
out
to
how
wait.
to get into schools. Like that's
Yeah.
something I really, really want
Yeah,
to do.
you'd be the perfect teacher.
Yeah.
You know, you already are a
Yeah.
teacher.
Maybe my
Yeah.
mom.
Hey,
You have the license.
know,
Like,
$1 million
degree.
business idea right there. You know,
Exactly.
just financial literacy course of like
Yes.
finances
Just
101. This is how to
mortgage-
adult.
yeah.
Like, this is how to
It's
be an
true.
adult.
It really
Like-
is. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like my kids are at that age, you know, like 22, 23, you know, and I see a lot of their friends, you know, who doesn't have credit cards, who doesn't have a bank account.
Right.
Who, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like,
Right.
and
Surprising,
I
'cause
sit there and
with
I'm like, wow,
technology.
you know, listen, they rely on their parents,
Sure,
right? Or
sure.
their mom or their dad or grandparents, and you hope somebody teaches them.
Right.
You know, because not everybody could learn on their own.
Right.
You know
You're
what I
right,
mean?
yeah.
But
Correct.
you know, I see it, and of course, you know, I'm the mom, and I'm like, no, you have to do this. I'm like, you have to become an authorized user. Like, you know,
Yes.
as a kid, you know, have your parents, somebody put you on a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Starts building your credit at a young age. You know, a lot of people don't do that. They don't know
yeah.
about it.
Correct.
You know, so
Correct.
it's hard.
You know, it's
But-
wild, Kim. Like, for you, I feel like it's because you have a good sense, you have a good background in terms of like financial literacy and you know how numbers work, and you've been through it. At the same time, it's like there's parents out there that they help their kids, but they help them and they don't, like where they have them rely on them, but
Right.
they don't fulfill those aspects of it.
Right. I
Right.
You know,
understand
so,
what
so
you're
you
saying.
so even though
Yes.
because you're there for your kids to support them,
Yep.
but the right way, like you have these,
Yes.
concepts and ideas of how things work, and
Exactly. And I
it's
teach
night and
them.
day.
Right.
It's night and day
And
from
yeah.
because I see your sons are they're up to speed,
Right.
right,
Yes.
Right.
squared
Yes.
away,
Yeah.
right, kind of
Right.
thing. And I talk to
Thank you.
other people, other kids that age, or young adults. And the concept of a credit, even older,
Right.
30s,
You're
like
right.
where they don't have
don't
a
know.
concept about any of that stuff. They haven't, and again, it's just they didn't have the right people around them to
Right.
And,
teach
and I think
them.
that's where you can help other moms,
Yes,
other parents.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, it's true.
It's true.
Yeah, there could
It's
be a
true.
good,
Especially
support.
because you're talking about like parents are worried, like they're sending their child into the world. Did I teach them all the right things to be able to do that? And it's a way of bringing that support, of supporting that parent too, to help them support that child so they have that go-to person in their life.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Yeah,
that's-
no, it's so important.
Yeah.
It really is. And,
Yeah.
it's sad for the kids that don't have it.
I know.
Yeah.
It just makes
Yeah.
me sick.
And then you hear them say, I didn't know.
Right.
No one told me.
Exactly.
I had no idea. And like, it hurts my soul
Me
when
too.
I look at someone who says to me like, oh,
I didn't know.
I didn't know, or most of my money is going towards my credit card bills, or like this. And it's like, I only have X amount in my savings account and my checking account.
Right.
And like, it hurts because they know that they can have financial freedom by owning a home.
Right.
They know that that's the path to take. And then you're looking at them and having that difficult conversation of, we're not quite there. We're
Right.
going to help you get here. And here's the things to
Exactly.
do to get
I
there. And they
know, I
like,
know.
it's hard. Sometimes they get so hard on themselves.
I
And that's
know.
when we're really their cheerleader and we're really
Exactly.
saying, it's okay. We're a partner. And then
Right.
they come back and send
Yeah.
you an
You know what?
application
Yeah.
a couple
Right,
years later.
Exactly. It's great.
And it's true. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are just, they want to have those skills. They want to go after it. It's just that there's a void there.
Yeah.
Listen, I personally, it's not an excuse not knowing, right? Because you have to fend for yourself and everything else.
Right.
But at the same time, people are at that point in their lives, or whoever doesn't go that route, is a lot of times they have other things they have to worry about because of those other things we're missing to begin with. So it's like
Yeah.
they're just trying to catch up in different ways,
Correct.
and those things don't even cross their minds until later on. And then there's a whole different variables. But yeah, I definitely agree that if there's a way that we can create a platform in the community to kind of fill that void for
Right.
just do like little seminars.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we
Yeah,
can start doing, like little
exactly.
seminars where we
Yes.
can have come in and talk about how to save money, how to put money aside for a house,
Right.
the benefits of owning a home.
Yeah, I mean, it's
it'll-
so true.
Yeah.
That's something
Yeah,
definitely.
retirement.
We
We go on and on about like 401k, all these things that we can't advise on that.
No.
But we could at least touch base on the math behind
The
it.
math behind
It's
exactly, exactly. And a lot of the things too, they can do pre-tax before it comes out of their check. They can have certain withholdings held,
Right.
and so it doesn't penalize them. So it's like you're not even missing that money, and just even switching their thinking like that. Like a lot of people don't even know that information
I
either.
know.
It's not always something that's just disclosed when you sit down with human resources to do your
Yeah.
Right.
to do your payroll paperwork. You know, it's just
Exactly.
here, sign here, how many dependents. Okay,
Right.
see you later.
Right. There's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, there really is. I mean, now people that rent, I mean, prime example, a lot of them can buy a house.
Correct.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they don't know because
don't
why? They think they have to put 20% down.
Correct.
Yes.
Right?
Correct. And that's one
Just
of the
had that
biggest
recently.
conversations is you do
That's
not
right.
have to have 20% down
That's
to be
right.
a homeowner. There are a ton of options available that let you put 3.5% to 5% down. You can get portions of your
Exactly.
closing costs covered. You can get down payment assistance. You can get a renovation loan if the house is vacant. There's money
Yes.
on top of the loan that you can get to
Right.
help renovate the home to achieve that dream. So,
Exactly.
okay, you may not be getting the brand new perfect home, but there's a path to getting there, and it's finding the right path for
Be a loan officer.
I was just
buyer.
going to say, it's nice when you have,
How you been doing that?
right? But it's true because
Yeah.
a lot of real estate agents don't know.
I know.
Correct.
And it
that's
hurts.
sad.
It hurts
It's
the
very
relation,
sad.
everything.
Sad.
Yeah.
It hurts everyone. And even on the selling side, it's a conversation that I've had with sellers. Recently, I sold a home that was in disrepair. There was a lot going on with the family, reasons that I won't get into. but
Right.
It happens.
Yeah, of course.
And they were upset about it. And I said to them, look, you guys are actually in the prime position. With what's happening with this market, we're going to have a ton of interest in the home. A, because of lack of inventory. I said, B, because of what's gone on with the home, people are still going to be interested because even though they're paying a premium, they can get extra money to help them repair the home.
Right.
And they're going to build that equity in that house. So they may have to do a lot of work, but they're not going to be scared about it because they know it
'Cause
will
you
come
can.
back to them. That now this $450,000 house, you've really made worth $750,000.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's about that piece too, and letting the sellers know, like, hey, there are different paths, and we're going to talk about that. Like when I sit down and present offers to a seller, I go over every loan type, what's going on with that buyer, what their debt to income ratio looks like, how confident we feel about their loan, the lender that they're
amazing.
working with. I
Yeah.
always like to know, like, hey, I've worked with
Exactly.
these guys before. I
Fact
know
check
they're
them,
going to
yeah.
close.
Just
I know that they do a proper pre-approval,
Right.
that they talk to their underwriters first.
so
where
great.
with other lending companies, they don't necessarily do that. And
Oh,
that
no.
is not worth the paper it's printed on.
Right.
And that's
They just, how many people, right?
Yeah.
Just do a
They
pre-approval.
come across.
I
We
mean,
see them
we've had
often
them-
where they've been in contract and the
Yeah.
pre-approval's not good or the approval's not good. Nothing.
So
Right.
horrible.
And then you're so far along in that process
Right.
that
It's
the
scary.
seller's already committed, the buyer's already told, if they're renting, hey, we're ending our lease, we're
Right.
going to be out this date. And then you get that phone call of,
Yep.
okay, we got to talk about your loan, and
goodness.
it's not a good call to
It's
anyone.
horrible.
I wouldn't be able to
Right?
sleep at night. Like if that's just too much.
Well, that's
It's
what it
just-
is, yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Like you can't- like either you just don't know any better, or you have no conscience. It's just
Yeah.
you're
It's horrible.
it's a killer. I mean, when someone gets wrapped up into a deal and they think they're all set, they're good to go. And like you said, and we've had a couple of months ago, we had a situation like that where somebody was basically ready. They were 10 days away from closing.
Okay.
And they find out that they're not qualified. I mean, no matter how we work the numbers in, and hopefully we're hoping that we were missing something, but it just didn't qualify no matter what.
We looked at it 1,000 times.
It
Like,
was-
what are we missing? They're like, how did they get a pre-approval?
I mean, it's funny. The couple, they qualify in terms of financial, right? Financially, they
Yes.
they can support the monthly payment. However,
Exactly.
the guideline doesn't let them move forward with the loan because the second job didn't work.
Didn't.
It didn't have the 2
You
year
didn't
behind
have
it.
it, right.
The
Exactly.
timeline.
You have
So-
to show that history.
Exactly.
in order for you
And-
to use
Correct.
the income.
Correct.
and it falls
And-
out. But they were under the impression that he had the
were
job for
ready to close.
what is it, like 6 months he had the job,
Yeah,
and that
not
was
even.
fine. But he had 2 jobs, so they were just like,
Yeah.
all right, it works, everything was good,
Yeah.
and disaster.
So much more than that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of these.
Because
Yeah,
you
all
could
these
go
little
get a second
turns.
job just to show that.
show, yeah.
And they don't really
Exactly.
know, like, okay, you could quit the next day.
Exactly.
Where's your skin in the game?
Right. And a lot of people don't understand, like, why,
Why?
I just got this job. Why can't we use the income?
And it's funny. So I mean, yeah, the idea behind that is that if you have to be able to carry 2 jobs concurrently, right, at the same time for at least 2 years. So it just has to. You just have to be able to show that you can the consistency, that you're disciplined, and that you've been that you can handle that. You can handle 2 jobs at the same time.
Because that's not easy.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of times, like, and also the fact that, the type of the line of work that you do, right? So you can't go from being, say, a doctor to then driving a Mack truck.
Right.
Right. We can't.
Two different salary base.
Yeah. We don't, as
Yeah.
a doctor, you may be your amazing hands. You can do surgery, brain surgery, but you can't. And maybe you could drive the Mack truck, but for how long?
Right.
Can you handle that pressure?
Right.
Just being behind the wheel. It's a different type of feeling, and vice versa, right? So, doctor to somebody who's driving a monster
Mack
truck.
truck. A truck to a doctor.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah, so, but I'm sure it's it's happened, it's possible. It's just that you have to have the 2 years to show that you can handle it.
Right.
Correct.
And-
And even if it's going from I'm in office A making $40,000 a year, I'm just picking a number, to now I'm in office B, same position, same salary, but you've reset the clock because you have changed jobs, regardless of if the salary is the same.
Right.
You've reset the clock.
Right.
It's just
As long as you don't have, you need just a continuous income.
Yeah.
Right.
That's, no breaks. And if you
Yeah.
do have a break, why?
Good reason.
You
The
know,
COVID
like
was a-
COVID
yeah, that
was
was
a
just the-
huge thing. A lot of people had breaks. So, they
Yeah, almost
accepted it.
everybody.
Right, almost everybody.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. But other than that, why did you have a break? Having a baby or, sickness.
Exactly.
But, there's a way, if there was a gap. But
Definitely want to put that out there, that if you've ever you had to miss work for a month, 2 months, whether you got injured, you got laid off, whatever the case is, as long as you have a good explanation and you can sign off on it, then we're good.
Right.
We can move forward.
Exactly.
It works that way. So
and that's so important to share because I think that scares a lot of people.
A lot of
too.
people,
It
yeah.
does, because they're like,
Absolutely.
oh,
How do
I
I
didn't work
explain
for
it?
4 months
Yeah.
or I didn't work for 2 months. And, we've had, that there was a few breaks,
Yeah.
but there was reasons.
Right.
Even kids that get out of school,
Correct.
and they only have a year on the job.
Right.
Well,
right.
we can do that. Why? Because you were in school. So I just have to show that you were in school.
Here's the
and that's
proof.
why you don't have the 2 years.
You can be right out of school, like the very
Right.
next day.
Exactly.
You
Yeah. You can
graduated.
have an offer
and you have your
for a
job,
job.
and you have the letter. You come in, which I've seen it, which is amazing.
Absolutely.
You're right.
There's
Right. With
so
the right
many-
career field.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so many
right.
different programs that there are that people don't know.
Yeah, I remember I had a client that she was working at a hospital, right? She was starting to be a doctor, and she was making maybe like 70,000 for a few years, and we were working with her for a while, right, trying to get her, and she's like, "Oh no, listen, I'm going to graduate, and when I graduate, I'm going to get all this money and etc." And sure enough, when she graduated, right, she became an emergency doctor, and she got $250,000 to start.
Right.
Right. So,
Imagine.
Wow.
so she's like, "Don't worry, in 6
God
months
bless.
I'm gonna have the down payment." So she did. She had like 100,000 saved up so she graduates. So for 2 years I'm working with this woman. She's a young girl, and she's getting engaged. She's got the whole
She's got the
thing,
whole package.
the whole package. And long story short, and by the end of the year, she bought the house. In fact, we did a video on that. We've recorded. What it was called? It was the Fiesta Bowl. I forgot what it was called. But we did this whole party thing for them. And we went and we
that's
videotaped
nice.
them and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Steve, the producer, was involved in that as well.
yeah?
Nice. He's always making an appearance, that guy.
And it was amazing because I just to see her go,
Right.
all her goals, everything she had lined up, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I cannot believe this
Yeah.
woman really did it. If you talk to her, she's so quiet, she's so shy. But you put her in the you put her, I guess, in the emergency room, and she becomes like this person. She
Exactly.
knows all
Yeah.
these things and moves
Yeah.
around, and
Yeah.
it's amazing. That's
And
how I
those are the
explain.
people you like to see win. Someone like
Yeah,
that.
she
You like to
was-
see win.
Yeah.
Like,
Amazing. amazing. She was her parents. I got to meet her parents. They're all there. Like, I mean, they
so
did an
nice.
amazing job with her. And then she has a sister that we helped her get a co-op as well. She got the sister. The doctor got a nice house in Huntington. The other sister got a nice condo actually. I forgot where it was, whether Hempstead or somewhere else. But she was super happy too. Like, you know, they're both got their houses, their places at the same time.
Right.
It was amazing. I mean, they were so different, the two of them.
Yeah.
But it worked out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it worked
That's a
out.
nice story.
That's a good one.
Yeah, the whole family. Like, and I refinanced the mom. Like, everybody
See?
was, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what
See?
happens.
And that's what happens. You do right by one, and it unlocks
Everything, yeah.
potential.
Exactly.
The whole family.
After potential. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole family.
Where if you had not done right by the first daughter, there would be no mom and
I
dad, and
know,
there'd be
yeah.
no second
No,
daughter.
there was a lot of-
Right.
Yeah, and you know what? It took like 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years to develop that relationship because, you know, she had to graduate from college.
Right. But you stuck with them, and
Yeah.
they stuck
And
with
that's-
you, and
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's consistency and little
Yes.
touches.
Yes.
That's something that has been ingrained in me too. Is just really staying consistent,
Repetition,
staying in touch.
discipline.
Yes.
The little touches here and there. Even just the check in. Like not even so much to talk about. You know, it doesn't always have to be about the business, but just hey, how are you? I was thinking of you. Like
yes.
I saw this tequila that I know you like. Hope you're
Exactly.
doing well. Like, or whatever, you know, whatever it
Anything.
is.
Yeah,
Like
just a thought.
yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
it's true. I mean, we say it all the time. We become friends
Yeah,
with them.
absolutely.
You know, we really do.
Yes.
Throughout the years, it's, you know, we've been invited to 65th birthday parties, and you know, it's funny because my mother was in the business many years ago, and one of her clients asked her to be the godmother of her child.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
Because she helped her get her house.
It's amazing.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah.
It's a lot of cool stories.
amazing.
It's really crazy. Like I remember my mother calling us and saying, like, "Oh my God," you know,
believe this.
like that's
I'm in.
amazing, right? Like that's so nice.
Yeah.
And, you know, and my mother, she's 76, and she speaks to all her old clients. It's so
love
cute, but that's
that.
where I got it from.
Definitely.
You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
God.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly where I got it
Yeah.
from. Is,
Yeah.
you know, my mother just calling just to see how you're doing, and she knows everybody in the family, you know.
She knows everything that's going on.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's, you know.
But that's
the
kind
eye.
of how I was raised too. Is
Yes.
like my parents were always like, it doesn't matter if they're the janitor or the CEO. You say
Yes.
hello to them. You ask for their family, and it was just like from a
Exactly.
young age, it was always that's what they did, and it just became such
That's
a part of
important,
me
yeah.
too.
Right.
Like, to remember those things. And
Exactly.
it makes a difference to people that they
It really
genuinely
does.
understand. Like, oh, you really care about me. I'm not just a dollar sign
Right.
to you. Like they're.
And it's
Again,
your
that trust
mindset. You know, it's
building.
your mindset. And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
what do you tell clients that come up to you and they say because I see that you're involved on the loan side in terms of giving advice a little bit. So what do you tell clients when they come to you and they say, what's the first time home buyer opportunity? Well, how can I take advantage of that? What is that like? What do they think it
Yeah.
is? Because
Yeah.
there's so many different.
So
I feel
many
like
different.
I'm only bringing that up because I feel like a lot of people, a lot of clients they come in with this preconceived notion that it's some sort of like gift, or it's like this amazing
Right.
thing, or like this something that's like
Yeah,
that
I don't know where
that
they
is-
actually got that from.
it's a sales
like-
thing. It's
it
like
is a
it's a
sales
selling
thing, but, you
technique.
know,
People abuse it.
they do.
Like
Yes.
but everybody's a first time home buyer who's buying their primary. You get all the benefits.
Exactly.
So like, what do they tell you? Like, what's the like?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of that misconception of like, oh, I'm just gonna get given extra money by the bank. Like,
Right.
Right?
No,
Where-
no,
Like-
I would love some extra
Right.
money from the bank. Like,
I
hey, can I have some
know.
money? But
Right.
that's just not it. So
No.
I think for me, what's always important is especially when a first-time home buyer contacts me, is before we ever go out, before we go look at anything, we have a sit-down meeting. I come to them, they meet me at a coffee shop, my office, whatever it is, and we really talk about what it means to be a home buyer, what that buying process looks like, what it means when you're getting a first-time home buying loan where you're getting down payment assistance or you're getting closing cost assistance. You're still responsible for that money.
Right.
That money is still attached to your loan. So that $400,000 house is really a loan for $420, as long as you stay in the house X
For a
amount of
certain amount of
years,
time.
which is typically about 10 years.
Right. Yeah.
Then that money is forgiven off the loan. I said,
Exactly.
but if you choose to move before then, you are responsible for that.
Yes.
I say now, depending on the market conditions, if the market's continuing to do and grow the equity like we're seeing now,
Right.
you may not care and you may pay the penalty and say, I don't care, I'm leaving in 5 years. It's too good for me to not
Right,
leave.
yeah.
But I think it's really important to set that expectation with them that this is not just money being given to you. You are responsible for it
Yes,
to a
definitely.
certain extent.
And I have, throughout the years when I would refinance somebody, it would come up. And, there's a way you can subordinate that lien,
Correct.
and a lot of people, it's easier, right, for the bank to say, no, you have to pay it.
Right.
But I have jumped through hoops and gotten it subordinated. And what that means is it's going to stay there. And they're willing to let you refinance and let somebody else come to the first position. And then they would stay a second.
As the second.
Got it. Right.
So, but a lot of people, many people I know in the industry would say to me, oh, it's so much easier. Just have them pay it.
Right. Right.
But you know what? It's the
legwork piece.
It's the legwork, and it takes a long time. It really does. You have to jump through hoops. You really do. You have to get that right person on the phone that's going to help you, and blah blah blah.
And
all
that's
know
weeks
that.
of work and phone calls for you. That's
Yes.
not just the one phone call. It's you're
Exactly.
constantly sending them different pieces of information that they
Yes.
need to keep that moving forward to meet the client's best interest. Because at the end of the day, that's where you're
Exactly.
coming from, is what is in the best interest of my client moving
Right.
forward.
Right. That's a relationship. I mean, you do that for somebody you build a relationship with. That's
I
helping,
mean,
that's
any refinance that has that. I mean,
Right.
why not go that
Take
extra
it, yeah.
mile?
Yeah.
What is it? It's a few extra weeks. But you know what? You would hope that the person understands what you're doing for them,
Correct.
because a lot of people don't understand. They just think, oh, okay,
And I think it was especially difficult too with getting refinances done in the last couple of years because of the shift in equity and trying to justify, like, look, this really is in their best interest. Look how this has changed, because we also, really late 2020, early 2021, appraisals and things weren't catching up to what the market was doing. So
Right.
to even be able to prove, like, this is how much their equity has grown was an
Exactly.
even
So,
more difficult task.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which I'm sure you guys found, on the lending side when you had appraisals going on. Like, look, this is all sold for this. We can't go back. You used to say go back 6 months.
Right.
You couldn't go back 6
Right.
months.
There
It
was
was
nothing-
a completely different
Entity,
world, like
right?
universe.
Yes.
You can't. It's so not the same.
No, nothing's the same. Nothing. It's just crazy. Now, what do you think about rates right now?
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
It had to happen. They had to start to tick up. They had to.
Yeah.
There had to be a point where the Fed just said, like, we have to cut it off.
Yeah.
However, because we don't really know where things with Ukraine are going to go, we are still continuing to see a shortage of homes.
Right.
I don't think that we're going to see 8% interest. I don't think
I
we're
don't
getting
either.
there. Are we going to maybe end the year somewhere around 4.5, 5? Possibly, but
I mean,
I don't know.
We're
What
already.
are your
we're,
thoughts?
we're already at almost 4.5.
Yeah.
We're already almost. I mean, I just ran pricing on a loan, and it came in at I believe the credit score is 716, and the rate was coming in around 4.375.
Yeah.
So that was the break even. Given all the different variables within the loan, right?
But it's still
but
low.
They're still low,
Right. That's the thing.
but they're no longer in the threes. I can tell you that
Yeah.
much.
Right.
That the threes, we were
Yeah,
for
they're gone right now.
a brief
Yeah.
period. We were in the twos, high twos, mid twos for a second. But you know what? I think a normal rate should be in this environment should be in the fours.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been in the threes for a long time. The stock market has come up quite a bit, and the rates have not reflected that. They're kind of lagging. And I mean, but what's really going to hopefully hold them down, and it's not going to last forever. God willing, it's not going to last forever. The Ukraine conflict is gonna continue to keep the rates but today we saw the rates were bounce back,
Right.
Because the markets were up huge.
Right.
So maybe but here's the thing: lock your loans.
Yes.
Just lock it as soon as because you never know.
Right,
You never
you
know.
don't know.
Just
And
lock
that's
it up.
what he's so good at. I have to say, like, he's so good at that.
Yes.
He looks at it every day. He's like, okay, we got to lock this loan, lock
Who's
this.
got
He's on top of it because it's so important.
And it can affect someone's budget
Of
quite
course.
significantly.
Absolutely.
It makes
Quite
all the difference in the world. You may qualify, not qualify at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
We're having
then-
situations like that where we did pre-approvals just a couple of months ago, and we had to revisit
And then you
them
have
to see where the
they're
numbers
at.
are at. Yeah.
And then
It
that's
makes a
another,
difference.
again, that goes to that education piece where you have to have that conversation with them. Like, look, the rates are shifting. We have to reevaluate this to make sure that we're going down the right path for you. Is
Right.
this still the right loan choice? Do we need to reevaluate that even?
Right.
Do you potentially need a cosigner now where you didn't before?
Yeah.
Because it may have shifted 0.3 points, but that could be the difference for that person.
And it often is because everybody
Yes.
wants to buy. Well, not everybody. Most people want to buy the most they can.
Yeah,
So
right.
so
Right.
we're already at the we
Right.
usually max out the
Exactly.
pre-approval. So. Laura, I wanted to ask you: is there
Yeah.
anything you want to tell the audience about yourself? How you see the world, the industry, how you do things? Yeah, as far as
Yeah.
tell us about your views on.
I just really love what I do. I like
I could tell.
working with people. I think it's just I enjoy it, whether I'm on the buying or the selling side. I have a lot of passion for buyers because just that day when they like are sitting at the closing table and like they're like crying because they did it, like
right.
that feels so good for me to know that like I'm associated with one of the best moments of their life, or
love
even
that.
if
It's a
it's
core
the
memory.
selling side and they're getting ready to upgrade or they're retiring and moving to Florida to the dream home where they wanted to live. Like, it's just powerful. I get like this weird adrenaline kick, and I don't know how to explain it to
I
people,
say
but
it
it's
all
like
the time.
happy juice flowing through
Yeah,
my body.
it's
I'm
like
just
a high,
yeah,
right?
like, I don't
It
know.
really is,
It
yeah.
really is.
I love it. And the challenging deals are the best deals. Those are the
love
best
them.
ones. Like when
Yes.
they're easy, it's like whatever. But when it's a challenging deal, and I've really I've had to challenge myself, and I've learned and grown from it. I'm like, this is why I do what I do.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And those
Yeah.
opportunities are always there
Yeah.
to challenge you in this business,
Yeah,
for sure.
Right?
Yes,
There's always something
yes.
coming up. And you
Absolutely.
just have to fix it. There's always a
Yeah.
way. Like, that's my biggest thing. Like, oh, don't worry, we're going to fix it. We'll figure it out.
And open and honest communication with everyone on the deal.
Yes.
The lenders, the attorneys, the other agent.
Yes.
Like, you just have to
That
be
is
honest
key.
with each other.
Yeah.
If you lie, it's only going to come back. And
Oh,
people are going
yeah.
to know, and it's going to make a bigger mess.
And that's what I love about where we are. You know, that there's so many people that will step in and figure it out, and and that's so
Make it
important.
work, yeah.
And make it
Yeah.
work. Like the knowledge that we learn every day. I mean, I've been doing this forever,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I learn every day, and I love it.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
I think when you decide to stop learning and stop growing,
Oh yeah,
you're done.
You
Yeah.
need to
And-
walk
retire,
away.
hang it up, and
Yeah.
you're
And
done.
in this
Yeah.
business, you're fried because every year, it's a whole different world.
Correct.
Yes.
Every year, it seems like.
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, so Laura, thank you for being on the
thank you.
podcast. Thank you for
Yes,
bringing your
I love
amazing
it.
energy.
I will come back anytime you
I
guys want to
love
have me.
it.
I think we really are going to do our course. I'm
my
I'm in
God,
for
yes,
it. But
let's do
thank you
it.
so much. This was really such a pleasure today. I appreciate
yes,
the time.
thank you.
Thank you. And this wraps up another episode of the Homeroom Lending Podcast. Thank you everyone for joining us. Find us soon at YouTube, Spotify, or anywhere where you watch your favorite podcasts.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.